Cool. Looks like we're up, rolling. Got about 25 people in the room. Hey, everyone. All right, let's see. Welcome everyone. How's it going? All right, give it a second. Let's see people stream in.
Hey, Gregory.
Hey, Greg. Cool. All right. Well, welcome everyone. This is day 5 of Crypto Fashion Week, the final day. Today we are joined by Sophia Ndulu and Madeline Parker from New Life. Oh, sounds like one of you got some feedback. If you can close the live stream if you have it up. Cool. Well, welcome to day 5 of Crypto Fashion Week. I'd like to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Luxo, for helping us put on this event. They've been an amazing partner. And I'd like to welcome Sophia from Newlife.Ai. They're here to tell us a little bit about fashion and culture and give us a little insight into what they've been building. So yeah, take it away, guys.
Hi, Dylan. Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. Welcome to our little workshop. It's Friday, end of the day for Europe. It's morning in US, so good morning. So today we are going to talk about New Life, which is the startup that we are building with Madeleine and our other amazing co-founders. And we are going to talk about a couple of themes that are related to our vision. The first one is we're going to do some social media bashing because I think it's deserved. We're going to talk about the new life and how we see this this new creative economy. We will talk about the creation, curation, and rewards. And so this is going to be Madeleine giving a demo of the product for those who don't have tried it yet. We will talk about the AI, and we will end up with a little workshop. It's going to be fun. It's going to be some kind of demo of the power of our AI that we have prepared for this today. And and at the end, or maybe before, so the order might be a bit changed, but we'll talk about how we can value creativity on a peer-to-peer level using our technology and how it can impact the crypto asset market. All right, so let's start with this bold claim. Social media is anti-creativity. So the main reason why we believe so at New Life is that creativity, by definition, is a number. It goes against the logic of numbers. So when you look at social media platforms, most of the time or all the time, it's about traction. So the KPIs that those people give to their board, to their investors, and so on. It's always about the amount of traffic that you generate. And so by definition, when you want to do a lot of traffic, you cannot afford to have users posting things that cater to the edge, to the people who are creative and who get bored. So social media is made by definition to appeal to the widest audience. I'm going to share my screen here. Have a little presentation up. So creativity is this thing that happens, when by definition, it's something new and it's something that is gaining momentum. So creative value, to be more exact, creative value happens when you have this crazy idea that starts to gain momentum. And it's a bit weird because when something is too creative, let's say, it looks actually a lot like what's at the end of the bell curve. So when something is, for example, let's say someone has like 2 followers, or your content gets 2 likes on social media, it could mean that it's either too bad, but it can also mean that it's too good, and that most people in the middle of the bell curve cannot understand that. So, if you look at culture, it's about peer validation. So, I'm French, and in my country, people do eat frogs and consider it like very tasty. And it's a cultural thing, right? Because not everyone would agree. So there is a consensus that happens on good taste. Some people like streetwear and some people like suits or whatever. And so for this consensus to happen, and so when we talk about suits, we talk about, very standard and mainstream stuff. But when there is something new that people have never seen before, there is a delay, or there is a time during which the consensus is going to form. And by that time, social media will have killed it, because social media will always punish you for being too creative. So once again, some profiles on Instagram, for example, or YouTube, or any of those mainstream platforms, have very little subscribers or very little followers because they are too good for, let's say, mass exposure. And they actually are very, very useful to the creative communities because they allow creators to synchronize. They allow creators to agree on creative value. And so the reason why we are creating New Life is because the clout model that exists currently on the internet is against creators. It's punishing creators for being too creative. So there are 2 forms of punishment. The first one is that you post something and you don't get likes, you don't get followers. The algorithm is playing against you, and you get instant feedback, and it's kind of pushing you towards the middle of the bell curve, towards the mainstream, which is more normal or accessible to the wider audiences. And so when you look at music videos, if the music video is way too creative, it won't get views. So the music video needs to be the kind of stuff that you will hear on the radio, the stuff that's very repetitive and that's very engaging and so on. And those YouTubers make a lot of money, they make a lot of views, and the advertisers love it. And then you have people who are highly, let's say, creative, and they have a great taste, and they post videos and they get 30 views. And so according to the advertising model, little views or little likes or little follow doesn't have value. If you are an influencer and you have only 20 people following you, you won't get so much revenue from your influencer activities. On the other side, maybe those 20 people are, the leading designers in the world, the people who are, looking up to you for their creative output. And so what we are doing at New Life is it's a peer-to-peer valuation network where creators have a score that is determined by an AI, and that can allow them to transact on our blockchain infrastructure. And so the AI has always been the best friend of blockchain. It sounds like very buzzwordy, but actually it's all over the place. So if you look at, for example, trading bots, what would be blockchain without trading bots? If you look at the algorithms of social networks such as YouTube or or Twitter, all those platforms, Facebook and so on, they use algorithms to spread information that is highly beneficial to the blockchain. So AI and blockchain kind of coexist. As I like to say, blockchain is the muscle because, blockchain is the bone because it tells you what you cannot do. And AI is the muscle because it tells what you can do. AI is about, moving data, making decisions. It's an active component of the technology stack, when blockchain is more about defining a set of rules that cannot be violated and that protect your property, that protect your NFT, your tokens, and all those things, and that protects the system from being attacked. So yeah, basically what we are doing with AI is allowing creative value to be assessed by communities, as opposed to being assessed by a bunch of elites, like it's the case today in the Hollywood, the fashion weeks. So we are today at the Crypto Fashion Week. I used to attend fashion weeks for like 10 years. Milan, Paris, London, and the fashion week it puts a very high barrier to entry to the creative industry, because in order to be featured, in order to have your brand featured, you first need to get approved by the federation. So in the case of Paris, it's the Paris Federation. And I have nothing against those institutions. I think they have done the best they could with what was available to them when they were created. I just think that now technology and blockchain and AI can accelerate and facilitate that and lower the barrier to entry. But yeah, so fashion industry, you need to first attend an expensive school. Then when you attend this expensive school, you need to afford to pay your rent and your food and so on while you are creating in those expensive cities, London and Paris and so on. Mostly Paris, I would say. That's where everyone from all over the world flies in hope of becoming the next Margiela. And so then you are releasing some creative output, a collection, let's say. Then you need to find a PR office that wants to work with you. And then you need to find stylists that will use your garments for some fashion editorials. And then the photographer needs to find a magazine that will curate and that will accept to take those shootings into their magazine. And then headhunters are looking for new talent in those edgy avant-garde magazines in order to hire them. And then they can work for a luxury group or a big brand and get featured on a catwalk. And then they end up on their creativity ends up ripped off by fast fashion. And so this whole value chain basically is very slow. And social media could have been a good answer to that problem, but it actually makes it worse because it drives everyone towards actually lowest common denominators. So it's like you need to do the fashion that will please the biggest amount of people. You need to appeal to those 500 million followers, influencers. And so you cannot have 500 million people who have a good taste. And so the big challenge for social media is always going to be that. It's always going to be against creativity. It's always going to push people towards influence rather than creative value. So basically, to conclude on that part of the talk, I just want to say that, yeah, social media, it's a great tool for sharing pictures with your friends, with your family, to see where your friends are at, to browse like the zeitgeist of like what people are thinking right now, and to not miss out on some viral news. But when it comes to real creativity, we need a new technology, and yeah, so that's the beauty of all the things that are currently appearing in the blockchain space, and that's the reason why we are building the New Life. platform. All right. Madeleine, did you want to add something?
Yeah, I think some people are asking for an invite code in the chat, so maybe you can share one here.
Yes, how can I do that? Well, maybe let's wait for the demo, and maybe Madeleine, you could like drive the whole demo and do the whole process with the invite code and so on.
Sure, we can do that later.
Okay, cool. All right, so the part 2 of the presentation is about the day we started a new life. So I was talking about the flaws of social media and how it's actually against creativity. And the problem is actually even much bigger than that when you realize that everything is going to be creativity. The whole economy, when... Okay, I will rewind a little bit. The human brain is made of many functions. One of them is about putting things into order. And the putting things into order function of the brain is what has what gave birth to mathematics, statistics, logical thinking, the age of reason, industrialism, science, all those beautiful things. And the human brain is also equipped for chaotic exploration, let's call it like that. And so all the things that relate to rational thinking are going to be done very well at a very high scale and at a very high speed by software, by what we call artificial intelligence. The word doesn't have so much meaning. It's an impressive word, but it actually describes all the attempts at producing rational thinking through software. And so the future of the world is going to be run like all the rational thinking, all the putting things in order part is going to be run by machines. And so it means that all the creative value is going to come from creators. It means that the entire economy, what will make the difference, what will drive economic decisions, what will drive people into basically making their choices, is going to be emotional, artistic, creative, cultural, and overall creative, because even in technology, obviously, once we will have AI able to program, we will still need to be creative about what to tell them to program. And so it's just infinite. When we invented the first machines, we were afraid that people would run out of jobs. We were working in the farms, and we were farming, and when the machines arrived, people started to freak out, like, what's going to happen to us? And then the same happened with the industrial age, when when the first machines started to emerge and improve, people would actually destroy those machines. By the way, there is a funny thing. In English, there is this word called sabotage, and it actually comes from the word sabot in French. So this is sabot, which means some kind of shoe that kind of looks like that. And so the factory workers used to like beat the machines to break them to not lose their jobs. And so that's where the word sabotage comes from. And so we have always been afraid of machines replacing us, but we couldn't actually predict the emergence of new forms of creative jobs. And so, for example, you have influencers, Instagrammers, like those concepts, even 15 years ago would not make any sense, right? If you went to someone like in 2002 and you said, hey, are you an Instagrammer? Nobody would even understand what you are talking about. So we have new jobs, we have new functions, we have new forms of roles in society that are becoming extremely economically powerful, and this is just going to accelerate. So if we have this shift towards creativity, but the infrastructure is not ready, That's actually a very big challenge. The reason why I think this year and in the upcoming years, creative tech is going to be so important is because we have to refresh and renew completely the technical stack to reflect the ability for creators to interact, to monetize, and to manage all those forms of cognition that are, let's say, not linear and not logical, not putting things in order. And so we need technologies that can embrace that part of cognition, let's say, that is not rational, and produce meaning. And so that's where we are since 4 or 5 years now talking about new life. We believe that a completely new life is going to emerge, where all the rules that we knew were true, things like study and get a job and all those things basically are going to be challenged. And so the new power is the power of the creators. It's the power of the people who are leveraging technology. And this is just going to accelerate, but also people who are going to build cultural networks. Right. Is there any question? Madeleine, anything to add on this one?
I think one of the things that some people have been mentioning in the chat as well is about inclusivity and how basically we can actually see new forms of cultures and different people get opportunities to join this ecosystem. So I wondered maybe if you wanted to add a few more things on that side of things to see if people are talking about that.
Yeah, sure. Well, maybe you can start. Actually, you have a lot to say about opportunities.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can. So, I mean, I have the lovely job of talking to all the New Life community, and we have so much talent from all around the world. In Mexico, Brazil, we have Nigeria, all over. A lot of users in America as well. And so, I mean, we really see this in the diversity of the current ranking in the app. And so what really excites me about that is how we could maybe like shift the opportunities for upcoming creators. And for example, one particular creator in Mexico who was explaining to me how it is to be a young creator growing up there and what the relationship with brands is and how typically it's hard to express Mexican culture with the type of creative briefs that they receive. But through maybe a new model or a new approach, it could be possible to actually show more of Mexican underground culture. This is just an example. And if there can be a platform like New Life to help people to get discovered, then brands can actually interact with those communities in really different ways and be able to fund them. And I think that especially with blockchain, this will really change the game for people who can enter the economy and be able to get paid also through blockchain and through crypto. So I think this is super interesting. I see some people reacting there in the chat. Yeah, it's really amazing. It's really amazing to see these cultures.
Yeah, I do think that internet has been an amazing equalizer. And the first thing that has been disrupted with internet was information technology. And information is spreading, but money is not spreading. And so it's like, imagine you are looking for food and you finally find food, but you cannot actually eat it because it's just passing in front of you. And when I see data, when I see information, when I see the spread of culture, and when I see all those things happening on social media, what I see is actually value. But the problem is the social platforms and all those like tech giants look at value from the angle of advertising. They don't have the lens to understand the value that is being transferred through their platforms. And so the beauty of bringing all this IP into an internet of value. And no matter what is the forum, if it's New Life or any of the other amazing like NFT platforms and protocols and so on, is that you can finally benefit from the value that you produce and all this flux of bits and data that come from our brain. And so the fact that we are now talking about expanding the pool of creativity, not to the very few lucky people who are born in the right city, or who had the parents the chance to have the parents to fly them into those areas, and the fact that now anyone, or very soon anyone with an internet connection, will be able to engage economically. This is amazing, and that's what we are working on. Everyone in the space for the year that's starting. So very exciting. Thank you, COVID, for making things faster. Because I think we would have taken maybe 10 years to get where we are after the second month of this year.
I think it's also really interesting now where everything is anyway more remote from now, but what I'm seeing on New Life is creators collaborating and discovering people that they wouldn't have discovered before. And so one of the features I'll tell you a bit more about is the moods. And so there are a lot of creators who are planning projects together or using the video, for example, and actually start projects together.
Yes. So, yeah, basically it's like, you know, we talk a lot at New Life about collective creativity because sometimes, you know, creativity comes from like an individual, but most of the time the individual is fueled by perception from the peers, perception from the fans, perception from all the ecosystem basically. And so this back and forth, you know, getting feedback and getting inspiration and all those things are actually not acknowledged. The only thing we acknowledge is like, there is this media, it's here, and this is the only place where there is value. But actually at New Life, what we are working on is identifying basically all the connections between this thing and the people and the other art pieces. And that's where, that's the area that we're exploring, because there is so much value that is being produced in like curation, for example. So you curate a mood board of like amazing visuals and GIFs and whatever. That's creativity as well. You know, you write a song, you choose a melody or you choose a sample. Like curation and creativity is somehow very blurry. And for some reason, we have still the stigma of the past where we used to value the actual, you know, song, because it's very like capitalistic. It's like, this is something that I own, that I can see, that I can measure, and it's like this little, you know, box that I own. When in fact the truth is our brains are all connected and data is flowing, like the blood is flowing and everything is flowing, and like saying, oh, here we're gonna stop this, and this little unit is what has all the value, is actually not logical, not rational at all. It's just an arbitrary choice that we would measure things from that angle. And it was due to the fact that that's how things used to be, right? The industrial world, you would produce things and they would come out. So you would produce like a fashion garment or anything, any object, and the object had value. And so we kept this like mindset into the digital, but the digital is just code and bits and data and all of that. And so we should have a representation of this value. Yeah, so which leads to the point number 4. How does the AI work? So at New Life, we are working on 2 main areas. The first one is understanding content. And so to do that, we are deploying a couple of technologies. One is about, it's a neural network that understands what is inside the content. So when there is a like, we actually know what people like. It's not just a black box. We actually can see, so we have a machine that can see what's inside each picture or video, and we are able to understand it, to extract the colors and all those things. And that's the kind of treatments that would cost so much if it was done on mainstream platforms, because it's a lot of computation. That's the reason why we have limited the amount of content that people can upload. Machine learning is very expensive to run. It consumes a lot of energy. And so the first thing we are looking at is trying to unpack the content and understand what's inside so that we can produce meaningful data. And what I mean by meaningful data, when someone likes a picture, you don't know actually what they like about it. It could be just because the guy or the girl is cute, or because you have been there on holidays, or because it's your cousin, or when there is a like on traditional social media, we don't really know why. And so with New Life, if we see that, or if the AI can see that a user is very often liking pictures that have a dragon inside, then we can understand that that person likes dragons. And we are able to cross-reference all those data points and to have a meaningful understanding of like what people like about each content. And so the second area in which we are building AI is in the space of understanding different angles to content. And one that is currently in research and development with a partner from London is something that we are going to demo later today. Actually, in about 10 minutes, we will start this part of the workshop. So basically, it's this idea that machine learning could actually understand things that are not attached to a media. So what I mean by that is currently we describe things with words and we categorize the world according to the medium or the unit of production that's currently dominating the world. So people, they buy things, they buy plates, they buy music. We do, clothing, and a lot of people think that fashion is clothing. And the truth is, or actually the truth of New Life, let's say, our lens on the world is that the media doesn't matter. What matters is the culture, the aesthetics, and how those things are actually relevant to specific groups. So the AI we are trying to produce, so we have this AI that can understand, okay, this is a dragon, and this is a car, and this is a denim jeans, and so on. So those are objects, and those are concepts that we can understand within specific contexts. And the first thing to ask is fashion just about clothing, or is there another part to the story? So basically, the idea here is that if you wear sportswear in a nightclub during Fashion Week, it doesn't have the same meaning as if you wear sportswear in your gym center, on a Wednesday afternoon. So the context of things and the recontextualization of things is a very big part of postmodernity. It's a very big part of playing with codes and deconstructing reality in the way we are enjoying doing for the past few decades in art, right? So memes, for example, are all about context. It's like a picture that means something and a text that means something completely different, and the difference between the two is actually shocking, and that's what produced this spark in the mind, in the brain. So the same for clothing. So if you look at Vêtements, Balenciaga, like all these Russian 90s aesthetics, if you take a picture from like Russians in the 90s, then it is what it is. But if it's something that is worn in, let's say again, center of Paris by some 40-year-old art gallery lady, it has a very different meaning. And it's like the same sweatpants, but worn in a very, very different context. And so this has value. And that's the world where we are moving. Because everything is so industrialized and everything is so uniformized, the human brain is looking for disruption. And the disruption is almost like trying to defeat the AI, trying to defeat this, like putting things in order. When you look at creators, most of the time, they don't like to put hashtags on content because hashtags are obvious. You don't want to be descriptive of what you do. And so if we build an AI that tries to understand aesthetics, the real challenge is to go into that space, into that environment. And this is extremely challenging. So we have prepared a little exercise for fun. While I'm talking, guys, I will invite you to participate in a little game with our research and development. And so basically the goal of the game is to prepare pictures on your computer or on your phone, pictures that are, so we chose a theme for the experiment because we are training AI models. So the theme we chose for this is the movie Matrix. It's a movie that's very dear to me and to the team, and I'm sure to all of you here. So basically what I will ask from you is like to just go to anything, Google Image or whatever, Pinterest, to create a selection of 10, 20 pictures. And we're going to try to do a demo live where we are going to try to recognize through AI what looks like Matrix and what doesn't. And it will be based on the percentage. And so we're going to share with you a Google Drive, and you will upload all your pictures, and we will in real time. So the Google Drive has been shared in the comments. So now just like prepare an archive. Don't upload things now, like wait for the last minute, because we really want to show that it's not someone behind, trying to like quickly make it happen, but it's actually going to be done by a machine. So it would be actually great if you can wait a little bit for the upload before I will start the demo. So just prepare like a list of pictures, a little bucket of pictures that are very Matrix and pictures that are not Matrix, and maybe things in between. And it can be fun to see how the AI will detect aesthetics. So that's what we're exploring with New Life. We want to help and bring this like capability to the blockchain space to understand those very subjective dimensions to meaning and to data, and provide the crypto creative space, the crypto fashion space, with this capability that will facilitate the discovery, facilitate the peer valuation of content, and create inspirational sequences of content, and facilitating basically the interaction between the creative brain and all the ecosystems and the creative catalogs that are going to be produced in the next decade. So that's one of the areas of our current research and development. And now I will address, before we do the little game, I will address the last bullet point of this workshop, which is peer-to-peer value and crypto assets. So it's kind of the follow-up with the whole thing. So what's the long-term game of New Life? Each expression, whether it's restaurants or movies or whatever, has a standard for evaluation. That's something that we kind of don't like, and we try to escape, but it's actually impossible. Like, there has to be a website that's number one on Google. There cannot be 20 number ones. There is only one. there has to be one band that is on the stage during the concert. You couldn't have like 70 bands or 1 million bands. There has to be one, and then everyone is listening. So we want to continue decentralization. We want to continue giving opportunities. We want to continue, but all of that has meaning only if there is valuation. The reason why creativity is important and interesting is because the things that you create are going to be perceived by other people. Because if not, you can just do it for yourself and it's all fine. But when there is perception, when there is consensus, when there is this willingness to bring people together behind an idea, behind a concept, behind a meme, behind fashion garment, all those things require appreciation. Appreciation has in its etymology the word price, appreciation, and giving a price to things is a very interesting exercise for the mind. I think the number one problem we have today is that the software that is used to give a price to things is very, very obsolete. It's time to update it. And so the big game of New Life is not necessarily to be like a content platform that will allow creators to distribute value and so on. Like those are very beautiful projects that already exist. With New Life, our main focus is being able to create a framework where instead of going and asking permission to those big vertical institutions and infrastructures, we want the creator themselves to value each other on a peer-to-peer basis. In case you just joined the chat, we are doing a little game in 2 minutes, which is that we are going to upload pictures, and if you can share them, there is a link in the chat. And we are going to try to identify which picture is like Matrix. And we are going to play with our AI, trying to identify content not based on what it is, because this is easy. There are lots of neural networks that can do it, but rather based on the aesthetics, based on the creative touch, let's say, of all the contributors, because it's not just the directors, it's also the stylists, the makeup artists, the designers, and all the people who contributed to this masterpiece. And so I'm going to start sharing my screen, and I'm going to share this little experiment. Madeleine, do you have anything to add to what I was saying? Okay, now I'm checking the Google Drive. We don't have so many pictures. Can I ask you guys to share more? So there is a link. And the models, yeah. Well, in Matrix, it's the actors, but I guess there are also some lot of models there. Okay. We need a little bit more pictures to make it fun. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna wait. We need pictures that look like Matrix and pictures that don't look like Matrix in order to do a little experiment with the Newlife.AI. Okay, thank you guys. So if you send pictures, yeah, I'm gonna refresh one last time, and I will start the experiment. I actually didn't test it before, so I hope it's going to work. One moment, uploaded more, thank you. Okay, send some memes, send whatever you want, maybe some things in between. It will be fun to see what the AI is doing. So by the way, the algorithm has a name. She's called Nuvi, N-U-V-I. The link is in the comments. You just need to scroll a bit. Yeah. All right, are you guys ready? Okay. I'm gonna wait 2 more minutes. Okay, I feel like a magician, but the thing is that there is no trick. The only trick is the fact that this AI is pretty smart. Okay, I'm gonna drop some pictures from a shooting I've done a few years ago. Okay, let's download. I will download what's there. All right, final refresh. Okay, it's gonna be fun. I see a lot of cool pictures. Thank you, guys. A lot of Morpheus. Awesome. Wow, so many pictures. Amazing. Ah, there is more loading. Okay, I have to stop the cancel download. Download. Okay, it's zipping. So basically what's going to happen for those who just arrived, we are going to upload pictures and see how the AI will see them according to an aesthetics criteria. So it will not look at words or things like that. Wow, it's taking ages to download. Ah, it's zipping. Okay. All right, it's going to take a while to zip the whole package. So we have a lot of pictures of Kenny Reeves in Matrix, not in Matrix. We have some random fashion people. We have some 80s aesthetics, some backstages of the movie. We have some 70s ads. We have some random Slavic model. We have some street style, some TV shows. We have a screenshot of Madeleine. We have some VR headsets. Okay. Oh. Okay, I didn't predict Google would struggle so much with zipping those images. So I'm going to try to do a smaller download. Yes, it worked. So now I will unzip and I will start sharing the screen. Wow, it's raining like in the beginning of the Matrix movie. Can you hear the atmosphere? What if I told you? Okay, so I'm gonna, I guess that's the folder. No, it's maybe in my downloads. Drive, yeah. There were videos in it, okay. All right, it's uploading. Okay, some cool memes. Do you guys recognize your pictures? Okay. All right, so this is the end result. So this picture is the most matrix with 98%. Interesting because it's not from the actual movie, but the aesthetics is like definitely there. And then we go down. Interestingly, the dog has 49%. And we go down and it's getting less and less matrixy. The Build Back Better, press reset. The dog, Kenny Reeves in a different context. So there is no face recognition. Some makeup. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I couldn't upload everything because we were having some difficulties to zip all the files, but yeah, that's basically the kind of things we are working on with a partner from UK. That's one of the use cases of our data and the way our data is structured. We're going to apply this type of browsing experience on the New Life app. So that's it for my part of the workshop, and I will give the mic to Madeleine. Yeah, Madeleine will give us a little demo of the app and give you the invite code and everything you need to experience it. Unfortunately, I have to attend a meeting that I couldn't move. Yeah, Fabian and Marjorie in the middle of the spectrum. Like even though without the right garments, managed to be very matrixy. I guess that must be the spirits. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed my part, and I let you in very good hands with Madeleine to give you a quick demo of the app and how to use it and how it works and all that. Thank you, guys. See you. Bye-bye.
So
some people were saying, can you show other use cases? So yeah, basically it's pretty much use case agnostic. So we're working with different AI partners to see different use cases that we could basically integrate with the Newlife data set. And so there's a ton of stuff we've been working on, for example, with generative design. So we're part of the NVIDIA accelerator. And so we've been working on predicting products that don't exist, which has been a pretty cool experiment. And we can combine this with the aesthetics engine as well. And so you could actually sort of create your own products that don't exist yet with your own content. So this is pretty cool. It's going to come soon on the Newlife app, but also for different partners. So yeah, so it's really pretty open, since we're having basically an API setup for the data set. And so if you are an AI startup and you would like to experiment or pilot something, then just reach out to us. We can set up a different use case. So I'm going to go ahead and try to share my screen right now and tell you a little bit more about the app. So there's a couple of invite codes you guys can use, so we can do it kind of live together. You can download the app if you're not there already. Actually, I don't know if there's some people here, I guess, who are already on the app, which is amazing. Then share something in the comments. But yeah, the Newlife invite code you can use is NUVI, so NUVI. I guess I can't write on the chat. I don't see where I can write that, but I'll repeat it. So it's NUVI. Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, so you guys can go ahead it's on App Store and also on Google Play Store, so it's iOS and Android. So you can go ahead and download that right now. NUVI with N. Perfect. Okay, so let me see how I can share my screen right now. Okay, great. So here's a little preview of what you can expect to see in the app. So essentially, once you go through the onboarding, we can do that a bit together after. You will get to this feed. And so the feed is a little bit different to other social networks. There's no scroll at the moment. It's basically a predictive content feed. And so over time, you will actually have content based on your tastes, but you'll also be able to discover new things so that you don't get kind of too stuck in this monotonous prediction cycle. We'll actually show you like a various amount of things. But overall, the app is going to respond to your taste. So if I replay this again, you can actually see this loading bar at the top. So what you do, if you can see a little bit here on my iPad, so instead of liking, you deep like. So you can tap and hold content. And if you like it a lot, then you hold it down. And the AI basically automates the tags so that you can save specifics about it that you like. And you can directly share the content into different moods that you create, which you can collaborate with different users in the apps. You can make social moods, or you can make private moods just for your projects. But if you see here on the screen right now, so basically the content is actually, you can see here it's recognized by the neural network. So we can see that there's a model here, the jacket or trousers. And so we can make the content quite modular, and you can share different parts to your moods. You can add this to your profile and to your avatar to basically build up your whole taste. And one bit I think is really cool also is this color wheel. So you can actually like save different colors and go deeper into other parts of the content graph that are related to this color or related to the different parts. So for example, if I like this jacket, then I could explore more jackets that look like this, and it's quite cool for inspiration. But I guess also if you want to find cool fashion, there's a lot of really cool stuff from the New Life users there as well. So yeah, so let me just double check on the chat again in case there were any questions. Okay, yeah, so you can join the Telegram group for New Life. I'll make sure that there's a link for that for you. And you can ask any questions right there. If some people are having any issues with the app, we'll get back to you through the Telegram group. So let me go on here. So basically, as Sofian was explaining from all the data side, we really put an emphasis on curation and the research. So what types of content you can find and how they could lead to your inspiration board or your way to collaborate with other people. But this curation actually has its own value. And so the New Life algorithm, part of this is the curation aspect of the algorithm. And so over time, if you go to the consensus of the formation of trends with other users, you will get rewarded for this in the app. And this is something that we're piloting at the moment and will be a core part of the app, is that you will actually be able to, be compensated for the curation data and eventually plug this in with different partners in the ecosystem as well. And so here's the core kind of idea, and it's what is really bringing all the community together. Is what would you actually be able to do if you could connect to this creative consciousness? And this is without advertising. It's very raw, it's very organic, it's people's visions. And so to be able to see where this creative consciousness is shifting. So for example, on the homepage, I will get it up on here. So we go to explore in the app. You'll be able to see different content that has been rising, or different creators who are like trending in the app. It's not working for my signal right now, so I'll have to wait a second to show you that. So who's actually in the New Life app? It's a lot of upcoming fashion designers, stylists, or models, also people working for a lot of luxury brands, but also really niche creators all around the world, as we were talking about before. A lot of contemporary artists, sculptors, for example. It's very diverse. Photographers. We have a lot of magazines in the app who are running their own accounts, and we're building up several features for magazines and for brands within the app as well. Yeah, and there's also a lot of let's say curation platforms as well. So there's either original content in New Life, which we're working on more and more verification features, or there's also curation. So if you want to make, let's say, like a mood board page or something like that, then you can also credit other creators just with the tagging feature in the app. And so we've been featured in different cultural magazines like Dazed or Vice, Paper, and we've also been part of the Farfetch Accelerator. And so we're working very closely with a lot of contemporary brands and magazines, and this is attracting a lot of upcoming talent. And those are kind of really the people that you see in the app. So you can follow us there on Instagram, join our Telegram group through there. And I just want to show you actually, I'm coming back onto here. Okay, the New Life website. So if you go to Newlife.Ai, you'll find our website here, and you find out more about the vision of the app, the things that we really imagine and believe in. You can see some of the content here. It's just great to see the different users as well. You'll be able to connect within the app. And let's go down a bit more. So here's another feature in the app, is this video feature. So you can actually connect with different creators all around the world and chat within the app. And over time, we'll build up more and more features for connecting and working together through the app. whether it's for friends or collaborators or also for companies. Yeah, this is great. So here's a little bit more about the roadmap, which I wanted to share with you guys. So right now we've been really growing the community, and it's really amazing to have more and more people come and join the mission. And please come and join and give feedback. We're working now on some new versions of the app, new features, and we're also launching a web version. So if you join the Telegram group, we can share this with you so you can get early access to experiment on the web version. And here you'll be able to share your link across all of your social platforms and your internet presence in general. And you'll be able to basically get supported by all of your fans across different platforms to add to your, let's say, like deep influence within the New Life ecosystem. And we'll be running also a rewards mechanism on the web version as well. And so you can come and join the community and be part of that as we launch it. Super, super excited about that. But here I want to share with you, if you click on this, Start My New Life, you'll be redirected to go and download the app. I recommend you do it on your mobile. It will take you directly to the platform, and you can use the Newbie invite code. Okay. So let me come back to you now and take off my screen sharing. So were there any questions that I missed here? Whether or not I can actually scroll, I'm not sure about that. So bear with me 1 second. Okay, so I have it up here on my iPad, so just so everyone can see. Let me run through it a little bit. Okay.
I think you're frozen.
Am I back?
No, you're still frozen. We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Is it working now?
No, sorry. Guys.
Do you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay.
I think stuck on a frame. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. Now you're good.
I'm back. Okay. I'm just gonna go with it. Hope you can follow me. Okay, so where I was at.
Oh, did you completely freeze?
I think it's working now.
Yeah, we can still hear you, but you froze again.
Okay. Did anyone have any questions about some of the features maybe in the app, or anyone having trouble to download?
Oh, everyone says it's working in the chat, so you're probably good. Maybe it's just on my end. Yeah, does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask? Feel free to put them in the chat.
So I can see, does it do 3D? So this will be more for the later web version. But we have a lot of 3D artists who are sharing their content right now in the app. So you can go ahead and share maybe some video formats. Right now it's mainly image and video format. but later will also be text format and other types of files as well that you'll be able to share and get feedback on. Okay. Another part I wanted to tell you more about is the actual data from the side of users. So when you go onto your profile, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of your main profile, you'll be able to see a button that says See Stats. And here you'll be able to actually see all of the curation content and like numbers from your own voting and curation of other people's content. And for premium users right now, you can also see it on your own content. And over time, we're going to develop more and more mechanisms for you to explore feedback from the community, see average votes, see basically maybe some comments as well on people who want to like give you really deep feedback on your work. And so you'll actually be able to A/B test, so to say, your own work and see really what peers, what other creators responds to your work, and where that piece falls compared to other pieces that you're sharing on your profile. And for a lot of users, this has been a super interesting feature because it's actually quite helpful to just experiment. And because everything is running through blockchain, we're also able to experiment now with a new model around IP, which we're working with several advisors to scale this up over time. So it's really a place where you can share early thoughts, early prototypes of your work, and kind of really use it as this peer feedback loop where you can just experiment and grow your creativity. And for a lot of users, they're sharing different content than they are on Instagram, where maybe they'll be somehow a little bit more commercial and they want to present themselves more as some business, or maybe they're getting paid clients through their Instagram. And New Life for them is really a creative freedom. It's like just putting out there all the ideas, iterations that they have and getting feedback from peers. And so just a few comments about who again is in the New Life community. We're really keeping it quite close-knit at this stage. That's why we have the invite mechanism. And so you will find a very highly curated network there. And we want to really prioritize this over time. And so we're going to keep the invite mechanism for a while, and you will have your own invite code. So when you do make your account, you can go to your profile and you can share your own invite. And anyone who you invite will stay on your network. And so you'll be able to connect with them and explore different features with them as you invite people. So yeah, gamers, absolutely. Well, the thing is, we have a lot of creators who are both creators and gamers, and so I find this like super cool. I myself am pretty terrible at gaming, I have to admit, but maybe we can play a game and you will see how bad that is. But yeah, we have some really cool gamers and game designers as well using the platform. That's for sure. Okay. So, okay, were there any more questions? Okay, the last feature I want to share, the last feature, now it's loading for me. Here is the explore page. So basically, creators who are spotlighted, who have been curated through by the community. You can also see the top charts. So these are all the creators in total whose content is being most highly curated through the whole app. There's some really amazing people here, so I definitely recommend you to go there. And when you go on their profile, you can also see, for example, SoundCloud, or their Instagram is linked here as well. We have also suggested area, so creative content that we think you would like based on your feedback. There is here your own network area where you can connect with the people directly you invited. You can see all of the new members who are joining as well. So anyone with the little green dots is live, is online. And the other bit, really cool, is near you. So if you accept to share your location within the community, you can actually go ahead and see creators who are in your city. And really useful when traveling, which is not so easy right now. But for those of you who can still do this, maybe it's quite cool, because when you go to a new city or when you go on a new project, you can easily just go on the New Life app and find people in that area who you could collaborate with. And again, everything is recommended to you as well based on taste. So you can add this search features. So actually your recommendations to you. And this is something we'll keep working on over time. How long till we all live in the Matrix? Okay, I don't think I can totally answer that. I think we're trying to get out of it, so I don't know. So how long? Yeah, I'm just checking here. The code work. I'm not working. Okay, if you join the Telegram group, I have to just talk to me, and if not, I have also a ton of other reviews. Okay. So I think from the demo side, this is all of the stuff on the app, and so do check out the website Newlife.Ai. Follow us also on Instagram, and please join our Telegram group, which is available. If you go to the bottom of our website, you can find it there. We also shared a lot of content on about the general vision of New Life, and if you want to go even deeper, we have a YouTube channel where we've done a really cool series in different episodes, the much bigger vision for New Life and how it goes beyond the mobile app as a new part of this crypto wave, with DAO governance as being the vision for New Life, where creators will be able to have a lot more control and a lot more influence over what is happening with the new wave of platforms. And so please join. Great, thank you for sharing that link. So please go check out those videos. Please join our community through the Telegram, and you can invite people in your network to the app, and you can go ahead and ask us for a link to the web prototype, which you can test out now. Okay, so I think that's everything from our side.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been great. I've been following New Life for quite a while now, so I love what you guys have been doing. You're doing some amazing stuff for the space. Truly profound in regards to giving IP back to creators, culture creators, all sorts of different things. Really excited about the explorations you guys are making in machine learning. Excited to see all of the evolution of everything as it grows. I think you guys are doing really brilliant stuff.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, very, very grateful to have had you here and sharing with everyone. But yeah, so thanks everyone watching. This is day 5 of Crypto Fashion Week. This is the final workshop. It's been a really wonderful week. We have a few more events yet today. Please stick around. We've got 2 more Clubhouse events after this, and then at the end of the day, we have an exhibition by Coldy and Metafactory. That's going to be really interesting. And then after that, we have a special treat for you all, where you can come and we'll have a live Q&A with Kooky.ai. She's an AI bot, so that should be really interesting. That'll be at 4 p.m. PST. So yeah, please join us for all of the rest of the programming today, and very grateful to have had you all here. I want to give a quick shout out to Luxo. They're our sponsor. They've been really wonderful partners in helping us put on an amazing event for you all. But yeah, thank you all, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Look forward to seeing you on the rest of the talks.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining the workshop. Thanks so much for hosting as well.
Yeah, for sure. Have a good day, madam.
Bye.
Bye.